It's a practice that's been passed through the generations.
You work intuitively, you follow what the body is telling you, not necessarily what's coming out of the client's mouth.
But it's now under pressure.
I'm enraged, I'm incensed that in this day and age we've got government departments behaving in this manner.
It'll make every healer that practices that sort of thing, that hears about this case, a little bit frightened, a little bit scared.
Morena Hakaraya. How are you? All right, so what's the issue? What's going on with you today?
For the past 15 years, Jolie Davis has practiced Māori healing, performing bodywork on hundreds of patients.
We're taught to work in whatu manawa, and that means follow your instinct and trust that you know you're doing the right thing and that you're being safe. What's going on there? Just got a cold or something?
In recent years, she's also obtained a nursing degree and has combined her skills to form a successful business.
I see myself as someone who has a foot in both worlds, and I like to bring the best of those aspects together and incorporate them in my practice, which is what I'm doing now.
In April, Jolie was approached by the Ministry of Health after a formal complaint was laid against her, alleging the Māori healer performed an illegal neck manoeuvre known as HVLA, or high velocity, low amplitude. Simply put, it's the cracking of the neck.
Last year, I had a woman come to me. She claimed she was a physiotherapist, and she asked me to work on her. We ended up having words which she didn't agree with the ways that I was working and the things that I was doing. She questioned everything that I was doing. She actually tried to direct the whole session from the start. And after 30 minutes of that, I just said, well, enough is enough. There's no more I can do for you. So I ended the session and I asked you to leave. 10 months later, I've since heard of a complaint that she's lodged with the Ministry of Health. And I was informed by Ministry of Health that that particular manoeuvre is unlawful. You cannot practice it, you cannot do it unless you are qualified, i.e. either a chiropractor or a physio, which I'm not. So breathe in for me, and out we go.
Jolie believes that her extensive training is more than adequate, even without official recognition, and this situation is a cultural clash.
There are many people that I have learnt from. Hohepa Delamere, who is now passed on. Atarangi Muru, who is actually a whanaunga of mine, and Manu Korewha. And they're the people that I consider experts.
Wow.
But because she has her views on what certain things are according to her training and her research in her field, and I have my views about what it is and what I do, on that day, it was like two worlds clashing, and it's turned out into a situation like this where I am up for prosecution and up for a possible fine of up to $30,000, according to Ministry of Health.
The Ministry of Health declined to appear on camera, but they did say that they were investigating the complaint and that certain activities were restricted to health practitioners because of the risk of serious or permanent harm to members of the public. They also went on to say the ministry will continue to consider the issues raised during its investigation. This includes the potential status of HVLA within traditional Rotorua Māori practice.
Yeah, this is a type of koromiko that comes from the East Coast. There's about 100 different koromikos in New Zealand.
Robert McGowan is a Rotorua Māori practitioner. He says Jolie's predicament could have been avoided had the findings from the Waitangi Tribunal been listened to.
It annoys me because the Waitangi Tribunal and the Y262 report made very clear recommendations which would actually prevent a situation like that from ever developing, and yet they seem to have been ignored. It'll make every healer that practices that sort of thing, that hears about this case, a little bit frightened, a little bit scared.
The thrust of the report was to create a new framework based on partnership. Rob and Jolie say this isn't happening, and it's threatening the authenticity of the practice.
As more and more legislation gets passed, without direct involvement from Māori, without consideration, it seems, of what impact it may have on the Rongoa Māori, it actually further depletes the actual practice.
These handles up here. I don't want to be another practitioner, another healer, working in a very diluted way, you know, because people come along and say, that's unsafe, or all right, I'll remove that. And at the end of the day, I'm just very watered down, and I might as well just go to Polynesian Spa and do massage there.
But for Māori in New Zealand to be able to operate as they have done for thousands of years, I don't even like the idea of us having to go down and have a prescribed certificate that meets their regulation. This to me is a treaty issue, which is about our rights to behave as we think fit for ourselves.
A group of clients and supporters came together to discuss Jolie's case, concerned about its wider implications.
I'm enraged, I'm incensed that in this day and age we've got government departments behaving in this manner. It's the arrogance that they show towards traditional Māori practices. And that, for me, is just upsetting, that we as Māori are always put into, a category of not conforming with European values or the government's set criteria. And for us, we've had this treaty in place which guarantees us our rights. And this is, to me, taking away our rights.
Big breath in, and out we go, all the way out. Even though this is quite a clear case to me of legal clash with traditional, I think we have to sort this out now before because if it goes ahead and the law is enforced in my case, who's to say that other things, you know, what's going to be next?
Rongoa Māori is different from Western medicine, but not just in its application. Legally, tohunga or Māori healers aren't protected, and Jolie's situation has people fearing this could set a dangerous precedent for Māori healers everywhere.
We've got to actually embrace the challenges in terms of Māori health positively and creatively, rather than actually putting more and more restrictions on things which in actual fact are able to contribute, and that's what I think is happening at the moment.
I don't want to ever censor what I do just to make someone else comfortable about what I do, to fit someone else's perceptions of what is safe and what is competent. You know, I shouldn't have to do that. I shouldn't have to do that because what I'm doing has been around a lot longer than what any physiotherapist or any chiropractor does.